friends. I want to talk a minute about how conservatives think they are going to be framed on the inauguration day, the 20th. And that's a good point, because everyone, I hear the talk around the internet saying that, the Capitol Hill was a false flag and staged by the left in order to crack down on the peaceful conservatives. And that very well may be true. Very well. The evidence is still coming in. And this is a great gig for the left if they can pull it off. And they seem to think there's no reason they can't pull it off because the courts are on their side. So if the conservatives would say, here's the evidence, it wasn't us, it was these other guys, the courts will just refuse to hear it. And so much for your justice. Because technically the left is emboldened. And there's some people that say maybe there's some factions of the Trump supporters that are radical. Or here's another possibility. There could be other militia-type groups that are taking advantage of the situation, which those could very well be the leftists. So, here's the thing. So we're expecting the left to stage a variety of, we'll say, chaotic scenes on the 20th and blame Trump supporters. And I believe this kind of tactic was used in other regimes, other communist regimes. They stage violence and then they would blame the people that they don't like for it. And the bottom line is, with the masks and everything, it'll be easier for them to do this. So, of course, obviously, the conservatives need to stay away from a lot of these demonstrations that seem to be independently organized without the knowledge of a lot of the Trump supporters. So I said, here's the ticklish situation, because like I said, the left, they want to use this as an excuse to try to round up Trump supporters and as an excuse to try to take away people's guns. So the bottom line is, how will we defend ourselves against false flags? Because, as we have seen, if the courts can do it to the president, what can't they do to an average citizen? And, like I said, if they don't want to pay attention to proof, they won't. And that is why the whole system has got to go. Because we have to have an equal justice system if we are to continue as a nation. Because that's the bottom line. Say all the Trump supporters stay home and tell everyone stay away. It's a false flag. They're going to try to frame everybody. They're going to try to stage it. So let's say all the Trump supporters stay home, and then of course all the different scuffles and violence breaks out anyway, and everyone says they stayed home. How can you have to prove you stayed home? But then even if you can prove you stayed home, then, as we said, will the courts listen? At this point, the media will say, you were there, and they'll ignore your evidence, and they will railroad you anyway. So I said, really, what is the defense? Everyone's saying, yeah, don't go. And I agree. And I guess everybody better document their whereabouts. We need all of our alibis. But I said the point is not whether we all have alibis for where we were on that day. The point is, if the media and the courts want to create this false flag, who and what will stop them? Indeed, who and what will stop them? The media will, even if it's, Antifa dressed up, as lots of people are suspicious of. The left will just go into their hissy fit saying, oh, it's the Trump supporters, ah! And we'll say, no, it wasn't. And the media will just ignore it. and the Congress will just ignore it. And so therein lies the problem. And if they can stage stage one at a capital, they can stage one at every state, even with all of us staying away, then it seems to be very little you can do to prove your innocence or to combat them in their staging. Like I said, these leftists do not play fair. They are going to use every dirty trick in the book. And us regular law-abiding citizens who a few months ago had confidence in our government and court system are sort of going to be hung out to dry on this one. Well, as Tim Pool says, we'll see how this plays out, but that apparently is the word on the internet of what they think is going on ahead of the 20th. So, oh well, I guess all we can say is everybody stay away and stay safe, but if the left is out to do some staging and some blaming, then I guess there's not a whole lot you can do about it. But, well, for sure we need an honest system, and that's going to be a hard one to get. So, well, everybody stay safe. Document where you are on the 20th, so that would be at least a little bit of help. And pray and trust God. Everything is crazy right now. We're gonna just watch as this unfolds and go from there. We sort of feel like we're pretty much on our own. I mean, it's like the politicians versus the people, and the politicians feel that with the titles of power, they hold all the reins of power. And we might have a time wresting it away from them. All right, everybody, take care. Let freedom ring.